And we are back! Welcome back to 80 days. We are halfway through, and we are on our way to America. Hopefully we can cross the west quickly. And then it's just the Atlantic crossing that we have to make. We might even be back there by day 60. That would be amazing. We lost a lot of time in Yokohama, guys, so let's get right to it. We are on the Water Lily. A massive steamship. Let us converse. Oh, I think I missed the chance. The salty air blew cool and sharp across my face as I opened the door onto the top deck. It was painfully early, and the only passengers awake were a group of Chinese laborers hunched miserably near the stern. One of their number was vomiting copiously into a bucket. I offered him my sincere commiserations. I myself had developed a sturdy set of sea legs, but I had every sympathy for those less fortunate. Unfortunately, the bilious laborers seemed to take my muttered words as some sort of challenge or mockery. I retired hastily, not wishing to antagonize them further, and certainly not before breakfast. I cannot abide a quarrel on an empty stomach. I probably would have gotten into a fight there and lost some money. Not good. What does the news say? San Francisco... Oh no, don't tell me that! Damn it. Pirates. Pirates. I accompanied Monsieur Fogg to a game of whist with a family of American missionaries who were traveling back to San Francisco for a family wedding. My master began strongly, but Mademoiselle Loretta, the eldest girl, had a sharp eye and won several hands in a row. A new round was dealt. I noticed Mademoiselle Loretta had unfashionably wide sleeves, though the rest of her dress was in the latest style. I was squinting closely at her ivory lace trim when I saw her slip a card up her sleeve. The minister's daughter was a cheat, and a skilled one at that. I filed away the knowledge for an opportune moment, catching her eye to convey that I had noticed her little sleight of hand. She blushed with all the manufactured prettiness of an accomplished actress, then raised one eyebrow in silent challenge. Our journey continued on. I have a feeling if I had called her out, her family would have hated me. Converse. Greetings, Reverend. Passepartout. Good day to you. We are looking to get to Burlington, perhaps. I guess. We have a route? Good. Burlington to... Okay. Cheyenne. Is there a route from Burlington to Cheyenne? I have no idea. Now, anyway, I have found the Book of Job to be most helpful. Oh no, wait, what am I doing? He's an American. Oh, whatever. As do I, Reverend. Sometimes I think younger people simply do not read scripture anymore. It's hard to switch between these accents. These accents? Atlanta. I am told Atlanta was burned down in a fire towards the end of the war. It has not yet recovered. Well, some buyers will pay well for amethyst from Atlanta. Apparently Atlanta is connected to New York. Is that right? You mentioned trains. I've been told you can get to Ottawa from Winnipeg along the Canadian Pacific Railway. Look, just ask the quickest way to London, damn it! Can you travel from New York to Miami? What a question. Wow, these people have Caracas. Goodbye. Okay, so yeah, there's a route across Canada that we can take. That might be the simplest route, honestly. There's a route from Chicago to Atlanta, and yes, there's a route to New York from there. So that's good, at least. It is day 23. I spent today in the company of the Water Lily's submariners. They were all hardy men and women who preferred the dim and closed spaces of the holds to the top deck. Too much sky, one of them said, squinting suspiciously. The crewmate nodded. All that fresh air. They shuddered collectively and suggested a bracing run to the boiler room. I tried to keep up, but could not quite adjust to the lack of flight and continually tripped over my old feet. Their commander, a short Japanese-American woman, pronounced me an utter disgrace. I decided to salvage my reputation amongst the submariners, and so lifted my head proudly and suggested a test of acrobatic skill. 1 second. And I'm back, sorry. Though the submariners were all fit as horses, they had never attempted to, for instance, form a pyramid or walk the length of a corridor on their hands. They competed with me gamely, but admitted themselves outclassed. Commander Davis even applauded. "It's Izumi to my friends. You're not so bad." Day 44. What does the news say? Nice. And it is night on the 44th day. I was climbing the rigging, entirely innocently and not at all for the purposes of spying on the crew to appease my own rapacious curiosity, when I heard two of the crewmen arguing in a pidgin mix of English and Japanese. I closed my eyes and listened to their voices. Only a few words were audible over the howling of the wind: shrine, heathen, worship, before a sudden scream rent the air. One of the sailors was falling from the platform's edge. I was unable to look away as he fell. His body lay still and crumpled on the deck, but I heard his scream in my head for days after. I looked up and managed to catch sight of the fallen sailor's companion, his face still and pallid. Was that guilt in his eyes, or merely shock? He slipped away before the captain arrived, and I followed his example. All was clearly not well amongst the crew of the Water Lily. Not good. I tend to fog, I suppose. Keep those hearts above 90. I don't know what good it does, but... The Water Lily's crew held a funeral for the dead sailor. I was not specifically invited, but felt a sense of responsibility, having witnessed the man's fatal plunge. Captain Wicker led the Christian service with customary grimness. I was surprised by the absence of the American minister, but later discovered the captain was a different denomination, and considered the missionary and his family only a short step up from heathens. Of course. Religion. Oddly, only half the crew had come to pay their respects. I asked my neighbor about this breach of custom. She narrowed her eyes. Joseph was a convert. The captain taught him to read the Bible himself. The rest of the crew are heathens. They stay away from our godly ceremonies. I conversed with someone. "Greetings, Commander Davis." "Monsieur Passepartout, yes?" "Yes. Can you tell me of San Francisco? There are a lot of Chinese immigrants there." "Yes, indeed. Is it possible to go from San Francisco to Las Vegas? To San Pedro?" "I believe so. You can get to San Pedro from San Francisco by fishing boat. The journey is a tiring one, which we don't want to go to San Pedro, but I decided to learn the route anyways." "Can't get to Las Vegas." "Those are the Aleutians." Storm. Too exhausted to write a proper entry. Suffice to say, we are all still afloat. As we settled down for the night, Monsieur Fogg remarked, "We have gained ourselves a day, Passepartout. We have crossed the dateline." My master was, of course, correct. Imagine what might have transpired had we forgotten. A less precise man than Monsieur Fogg might have finished on the 80th day, yet believed himself to have lost. Imagine that. Let's converse. I'm pretty sure no one will give me a decent route, but... Let's ask about San Francisco. No one can give me anything new. Ask about Burlington. See, it's these ones here, these yellow ones, that might give me new routes. Burlington to Atlanta. Now tell me, I think I will marry a Frenchman. Really? A particular one, or any? Oh, any will do, so long as they have the vowels. Right. Chicago to Washington? What a question. Chicago to Duluth? I'm sorry, I have to run. Great. Alright, so we can get from Winnipeg to Chicago. I don't know what these notes are that keep appearing. I'm gonna see if I can track it down. Yesterday's storm hit us with little warning. One moment I was preparing Monsieur Fogg's shaving water to exactly the right temperature. The next we were being tossed from one end of the cabin to the other. We were only lucky that the bed was securely nailed to the floor. Rain clattered against our iron hull, nearly drowning out the shouts of the crew. The storm lasted nearly 6 hours and blew us far off course. The captain spent most of the day peering at his charts, trying to locate our position. There is no land anywhere on the horizon. Oh no. Oh no. The captain announced a change of destination, and the port they now make for nearby Hawaii rather than San Francisco. We would make port in Honolulu in 5 days, and would have to find our own further conveyance from there. Monsieur Fogg's lips pressed ever so slightly together, a rare outward sign of entirely understandable annoyance. This, my master said, will not do. But... Indeed not, sir. I agreed, not even daring to calculate the delay and expense our unexpected diversion would cause. Monsieur Fogg gave me a cool, appraising glance. Captain Wicker has reneged upon his word as a gentleman. Our course is clear. We must mutiny. Well, this has taken a turn. I agree. I would my master agree wholeheartedly, but he continued to, without so much as a pause. See to it, Passepartout. Use your natural charm, sir? Quite. We will mutiny in 5 days when we reach Honolulu. Make your preparations as you see fit. Well, first off, 1 second. I want to see... Can I disable that? I don't know what that does, but disable it. Huh? Oh no, don't quit. Don't quit. Let's do that. For some reason, stuff keeps popping up. Okay, so converse. Greetings, Captain. Passepartout, what do you want? I need to know about Honolulu. I don't know what preparations to make. I mean, I have a gun. My task was clear. I was to foment mutiny aboard the Water Lily. I decided to begin by exploiting the crew's animosity towards one another. To divide and conquer, or so dear Maman always counseled. I considered inflaming their religious passions, though such passions were by their nature unpredictable. Oh my god. I am gonna troll their religion so hard. This might get me thrown overboard. This'll probably get me shot. This might work. This will probably do nothing. Steal the captain's well-mounted crucifix and blame the theft upon the Shinto crew members. The captain took the theft as a personal affront and ordered a humiliating search of the crew's quarters. The officers destroyed the Shinto shrine in their search, and several of the crew were dragged off to the brig for fighting. I don't know if that helped any. It was with satisfaction that I noted a certain increase in tension aboard the Water Lily, a situation I would have to carefully exacerbate if my master's mutiny was to have any chance of success. The submariners who haven't had any work to do. Yes, they were rather storm-tossed and disgruntled. There are no storms underwater, the commander muttered, her hair a tangle underneath her cap. We should have submerged, I agreed. Captain Wicker risked all our lives. I think perhaps he does not trust your ability as submariners. Perhaps you're right at that. Perhaps so. I have heard him say as much. I nodded and winked. You do not know everything about me. I took my leave a moment later, hoping my seed of doubt would spread. You have to be bold if you want to steal a ship like this. These papers are remarkably accurate. I have attempted to warn the obvious targets aboard the Water Lily, but wars were often won by the unexpected. With that in mind, I turned my attention on the ship's artificer, a tall, rather imposing woman in a short jacket embroidered with the guild's copper lily. Artificers were notoriously neutral in the matter of conflict or civil disruption, but I appealed to her vanity, offering to restyle her rather fusty robes into something more au courant. I think. She regarded my own outfit critically for a few moments before her narrow face blossomed into a surprisingly sweet, if toothy, smile. You seem like a man with a good eye. I have always wanted to be fashionable. I promised her that she would be the toast of any top deck she cared to walk upon, and had to hope that her gratitude would translate to more direct aid in my revolutionary plans. Day 51. What that means? Does that mean that they're no longer using telegraphs in Honolulu? I spent the day putting the last finishing touches to my planned mutiny. It was a matter as delicate and serious as the creation of a soufflé by a master chef. I spread word of my signal amongst my allies and stayed up late, ensuring every man and woman on my side was true. We must be bold. We have arrived. We reached Honolulu in the dark. The captain took a small skiff into the harbor with a few of his officers, wishing to inquire about repairs before putting the Water Lily into dry dock. Now is the time, he said crisply. I trust everything is in order. I assured him it was, and he nodded, having expected no other response. Let us hope so. With that, my master retreated to his cabin, and I called the signal to arms. The Water Lily erupted into chaos. Everywhere was the clash of sabers and pistols. Now and then I heard the shriek of the officers' sonic weapons. But I was not alone. The half of the crew that followed the Christian faith fell in behind me with a rallying cry. They fought their Shinto crewmates with vicious determination, clearing the top deck within the hour. The Chinese laborers poked their heads out of their cabin at the noise and confusion, but seemed to decide upon a policy of detached observation. I was only grateful they did not intervene against my band of mutineers. The submariners, led by Commander Davis, charged out of the hold of the ship like a horde of impossibly athletic avenging angels. There was a long, terrible moment where I wondered at their allegiance. Then Commander Davis caught my eye and winked. "It's Izumi to my friends!" she shouted cheerfully, driving back any stragglers loyal to Captain Wicker. I saw Mademoiselle Loretta trip up one of the loyal officers out of the corner of my eye. She tipped her bonnet in my direction, a gesture of respect from one player of the game to another. The whirl of the battle took me away, but not before I saw her falsify a magnificent feint and block the gangway to the navigation room. By noon it was clear that our efforts were for naught, however. The mutiny did not have the support and numbers required to defeat those who had maintained their loyalty. Captain Wicker and the other officers returned just in time to smother the last flames of rebellion. My master and I begged to be allowed to remain on board, but the captain laughed. I may be a gentleman, but I am not a fool. Oy. Unfortunately, that was bad. That was a bad trip, man. Different choices, and I might have actually. All right, what do we got? Holy sh! Wait, where? Oh! It's $2,100. We can't afford a ticket. It sails in 2 days. What other options have we? Okay, so we can sail to San Francisco for 1,000 in 2 days. Or we can head to Acapulco. That's within our price range. Okay, so these are people playing the game right now? And where they are? Huh. Because see, here's Paul Grimes 8. Day 51. Here's Dustin, day 54. Here's Dunezzo. Another player. So cool. Crowley's taking the South Pole route. He's way behind. I'm enjoying this, you know? There's all these people. No one has tried to cross the Amazon for good frigging reason. Alright, let's go to Acapulco. That departs tomorrow at 12 noon. Once again, we could not afford the hotel. We had no choice but to lie under a bridge like the poorest peasants and sleep. The night was cruel and hard. I thought I was going to die. This is rather more exhausting than I had anticipated. Yes, well, it leaves at 4, so let's check the market real quick. I think it leaves at 4. Oh, it leaves tomorrow at 12. Okay. So yeah, I can mark it. Anything of value. Let's sell the balalaika. Let's sell this. We're almost past the Pacific, so we don't need the timetable anymore. Actually, we're going down there, so we might actually pass San Pedro. Alright. I sell the amethyst here. Sure, let's sell the amethyst here, then we can ditch one of the bags too. Explore. New route from Manila to somewhere. To Honolulu. Through Honolulu. So that's the route we should have taken from Manila. Dang, son. It was as though Honolulu lived in one indrawn breath, a wheeling swath of sky, white-laced waves, and pristine sand, bounded by black volcanic bluffs. The town was entirely hidden behind groves of coconut and eucalyptus. We rested in a comfortable palm-topped hut by the shoreline, breathing the sea air and trying to shake the weariness of the road. Yes, indeed. We don't need to plan because we won't be leaving until tomorrow, so... Hotel for the day, much as I hate paying for it, which is almost $100 frigging or pounds, which was a lot back then. I ran a few errands for the hotelier, earning 62 pounds. That's good. And depart. Depart for Acapulco. This will be a wearisome route with nothing to recover those hearts. A Spanish Torres Quevedo type airship. Its gondola shaped to resemble one of the infamous Spanish galleons of previous centuries, and as richly outfitted, with Philippine hardwood furniture, Fijian silk curtains, and lacquered ornamental automata imported from China. My cabin resembled a fashionable salon more than an airship berth. Greetings, first mate. Passepartout. Journey treats you well. I'm trying to figure his Acapulco. I cannot talk about. You can't talk about Acapulco? Right. Panama City. Yes. Can we get to Havana? Well, you are more than less than helpful. The captain of the airship swapped the Spanish flag flying from the prow to Hawaiian colors. The Mexicans are not fond of us Spaniards since the Revolution. Spanish ships are turned away from their port. Surely they are not fooled. It was a thin subterfuge, if it even deserved the term. It is a little game we play, the interest of trade. We sent our Filipino crew members to negotiate for us. The Mexican customs adds a hefty surcharge to our taxes. Do not worry, my friend. This is not my first run. Yeah, don't ask me to do accents, ever. Tend to fog, because this trip is going to be hard. We smelled the smoke first, and then gunpowder sweetened by blood. Acapulco was just visible in the distance, wreathed in lightning flash smoke. It was impossible to see what was happening, though it did not stop the crew from offering several dark, ominous guesses. Are the Spanish trying to retake Mexico? I demanded of the captain. King Amadeo hardly writes me informative love notes. Before he gripped the brass-handled telescope swinging from the bow. I need a volunteer to climb the rigging and see what is up ahead. I will do it. Wave the handkerchief when you are secure and we will raise the ship. I shook Monsieur Fogg's hand before I climbed up the hatch and grabbed onto the ratlins. The wind buffeted my face, and the roar of the twin Antoinette engines seemed amplified. Behind the comforting view of the curve of the envelope, I saw an endless, dizzying stretch of sky, and the Pacific Ocean glittering far, far below. I closed my eyes and heaved myself up, managing to grip the foot rope with toes as I swung out and away from the gondola. I was braced against the wheeling sky and the impossible drop by nothing other than my trembling hands and feet clutching the rope. I reached up blindly with my right hand, and the worn rope snapped, taking with it both my handholds. I swung out precariously, clutching one fluttering end of the rope as my other hand scrabbled in the air, and my foothold loosened. Be bold! Be bold! I made it to the widest cross-section of the envelope, and waved my red handkerchief. I felt the hum of the engines grow sharper as the airship began to climb. Each shudder and yaw was more pronounced, and I laughed and laughed and laughed at the joy and the wonder of it, the utter impossibility of it. We humans are such ingenious creatures, my friend. It is so easy to forget when one's feet touch the ground. I extended the telescope as the ship bobbed in the air, and peered through it at the sky above Acapulco, ship thick with airships engaged in battle with each other, firing cannon, exploding and dodging fire from the ships below. I saw their flags and shuddered. I will not recount how I climbed back down, how many times I slipped, how my palms bled and itched, how nearly I pitched into the ocean. I will tell you I made it back inside, in my report to captain and crew. The French army is besieging Acapulco, I said, and then I fainted dead away. Yeah, he better respect. He better friggin' respect. Okay, the captain called the passengers and crew together for an announcement. We shall leave the French to their business in Acapulco and head to Panama. I nodded eagerly and agreed, not willing to risk traipsing through a city under siege, even if it was besieged by my countrymen. It is a detour, but not a catastrophic one. We tethered at Panama in the mid-afternoon. From the air I could see the snaking, gutted length of the canal under construction. Bright red and blue automatons threw clods of dirt and stone into the air. The crew hurried us under the ship, off the ship, unflatteringly eager to watch us depart. Day 57, Panama City, home of the Panama Canal. And that's where we're leaving it, I think, again today, guys. I'm going to check how long the recording is gone. Give me just a second, and yeah, so if the recording has been going for a while, then I will see you guys next time. If not, I will probably cut out my entire ending there, and we'll see. But see you guys next time. Have fun.